I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Lost the desert, man.
Well, he's a travel expert who jets around the globe covering new and exciting destinations. And today he's going to tell us about secret treasures right here in our own backyard. Please welcome the author of Travel Unscripted, Mark Murphy.
Hey.
So, Mark, it is your job to travel around the world and find these fun, great locations. It's got to be a tough gig.
It's tough. You know, you got to get up, you got to get there, you got to deal with jet lag, but you go out, you party, have a great time, and you see some wonderful cultures, you eat some great food, and some not so great food.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What's been the worst? Because I'm not a big food guy myself.
All right, my producers suggested I try something called baby duck embryo, and I did that. Yeah.
What country was this in?
This was in Cambodia.
Okay.
So on a dirty, muddy side street, I tried it, but you just had that fitness episode. One of the best ways to lose weight. I dropped an immediate 25 pounds.
Yeah, I bet. I'll bet. So you've been to like 70 plus countries?
Around 70 countries. I lost track.
That's incredible. And I know you share some of the anecdotes and some of the experiences that you've had in your book.
Yeah.
What's one that comes to mind right off the bat?
Well, my producer and I, we got stuck in Santorini. We thought we had plenty of time to get down to where the tenders were to take you back to the boat, and we realized we had about 22 minutes to travel 30 minutes, and we were going down the trail that the donkeys were coming up. You'd come down a big cliff, and you had to dodge donkey dung. You had to dodge donkey drivers who were cursing at you, trying to shake you down. I call it the Santorini Shakedown. It's in the book.
Yeah, I bet you have enough stories to last you many, many books.
Oh,
but,
yeah, that's funny.
Let's talk about some of the treasures we have not far from the Chicagoland area, starting with the State Park. And I haven't been there yet, but tell us about Starved Rock.
All right, so Starved Rock is really a treasure. You have waterfalls at different times of the year. You have these canyons that were carved from glaciers thousands of years ago. You've got all these geological formations. You have a lodge that you can go to in the wintertime, even when there's tons of snow on the ground, because it has the largest double-sided fireplace, kick back with a book, and take in just a wonderful park.
And there's a lot of history to that park, too, especially with like Native American culture.
Exactly. It goes back almost 8,000 years. So that's one of the interesting things. That's how Starved Rock, by legend, got its name, right? Two tribes battled it out. One got stuck at the top of the rock, and they were closed off from food and water, or so the legend goes, and therefore they starved at the top of the rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
A place I have been is the Kankakee River, because it's a great bike trail down there, too.
Exactly.
And that's a hidden gem that a lot of people don't really know about.
Yeah, they don't think about it. It's a little over an hour drive from Chicago. You can go down there. You can rent a canoe. It's got low-level water, so canoes can traverse very well. You can go fishing. And something people don't realize, you can rent the canoes or bring your own, or you can go and check out the equestrian trail and take a 12-mile horse ride, even if you don't know anything about riding on horseback.
Right, and a lot of hunting, fishing, a lot of good things to do out there.
Exactly.
What about the Indiana Dunes? Because this is really cool.
Are we going to cross state lines?
Yes, let's cross
crossing state lines.
We're all together. It's all still Chicagoland area. Yeah, that's our neighbors.
So Indiana Dunes, you know, you go there and there's some great hiking trails, and you go in. I think it's about $10 for a carload of people, so it's really inexpensive. You show up. Dunes going up 200 feet. You've got Mount Baldy. You can hike up there. The hikes are a little challenging. You want to check that out, so make sure you're in good shape, but you want to get those views of Chicago from the top, and it's pretty spectacular. I was there as a kid and still remember those views.
Yeah. What about the Anderson Japanese Gardens?
All right, so you've got the hustle and bustle of Chicago, city life, and you want to just go back and reflect. I find it always interesting to reflect in a Japanese garden. There are little waterfalls, ponds, reflecting pools, and if you want just a quiet getaway to kick back and just kind of get that introspection, it's a great way to do that.
You need that, too, especially for all of us.
Yeah,
you need that, and we need that. Living in the city, you know, you got to get out of the city sometimes and just have some relaxation, you know, no traffic. What are your best travel tips you have for people that are planning vacations, they want to take a trip? What would you recommend?
Okay, first and foremost, talk to a travel expert. I think too many times we think we can do it on our own.
I know one. I know this guy.
No, not me. I'm talking about a travel agent.
Right. Okay, a travel agent.
Go talk to a travel agent. You have them all over the city here. You can get to them online. They have expertise. Many of them are trained by different suppliers and different destinations and have traveled to these places. Worst case scenario, they get the feedback from customers who've been there, who tell them the pros, the cons, what they liked, what they didn't like, and they build really a knowledge base that they can share with you. Number two, if you're traveling, especially in the wintertime out of Chicago, plan to leave a day early and come back a day later, especially if you're doing a cruise, because so many people have been stranded on their way to a cruise. Ship takes off because their flight got delayed. Wow. And you can't catch the ship unless you can swim really fast.
Yeah, there you go. And I always come back one day before I have to work. You know, you have that one day off just to get your mind right and then go back to work, right?
That's your travel tip, and I think that's a great tip, because you come back, you had this great time, but you're a little tired, and then you have to get up at 7 in the morning to go to work. You definitely give yourself that down day. And one of the ways to, I think, protect yourself when you travel is get travel insurance. A lot of people don't think about it, but get travel insurance, because if your trip gets interrupted or your child gets sick or something happens, make sure you're covered. Otherwise, you lose everything you put towards that trip, and you're sitting home and everyone's on vacation with your money.
Yeah, you get that. All right, Mark, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And for more information on Mark, head to our website. And we didn't want to leave our audience out, so guess what? You're all getting a copy of his book. All right, coming up next, he has performed with Chicago's own Buddy Guy, blues artist Michael